Hello everyone, Matt Mills here from the design firm Touchlight Media. In this video, I'm going to show you a basic setup of Follow Me. For this video, I'll be using one of our MA3 compacts. I'll be using L8 for my visualizer to simulate the lighting rig, and of course, use one of our Follow Me systems. Before we get started, I feel I should mention that I am not affiliated with Follow Me. We are good friends, but I'm really just an end user, and we happen to own several Follow Me systems, and we use them on our productions as well as rent them out to other productions. In order to get Follow Me integrated with your lighting rig, we'll need to know a few things. First, we're going to need to know what lights you would like to use with Follow Me. You'll need to input the fixture type, the addresses of the fixtures, and where the fixtures are in 3D space. Very similar to patching lights into a console. Second thing we're going to need to know is how big is your stage. We're going to need to know the measurements of the stage, the performance area. And three, we'll need to know how many performers you would like to follow. For each performer you follow, you'll need a Follow Me controller that an operator will operate to move a target around the screen following the performer. Here we have a simple lighting rig I threw together in Vectorworks for this video. I've exported the MVR file from Vectorworks into L8 and also into the MA3. We will be controlling the lights using 21 universes of streaming ACN from the MA3 compact networked into my laptop running the L8 visualizer. Here you can see the rig loaded into L8. You see everything is working as it should. Right now, Follow Me is not in this setup yet. This is only the console connected to L8. For this example, we'll be using these calibration points as our stage measurements. Think of these as gaff tape you may have put on the stage to represent your measurements. You'll see that we have a calibration point at downstage center, downstage right, downstage left, upstage right, and upstage left. For our fixtures, I'll be adding 9 Martin Ultra Performances into Follow Me. 6 of them will be on the downstage truss, and I'll use 1 from the midstage truss and 2 from the upstage truss. For the drummer, we'll just lock this center Ultra Performance off on him. We'll also be patching 9 Follow Me control profiles into the MA3 so we can have control of the Follow Me from the desk, but that'll come later. One of the first things you would do on a show site is hang the Follow Me camera, probably off the downstage truss. You want to make sure you can see the entire area where you'll be following the performers. And since we're doing all this in my home office today, we will simulate what the camera would see by using the L8 visualizer. We'll go through the same steps as if we did have a real lighting rig in front of us, but we'll be using the visualizer as our camera view. I think it all makes sense. I should also mention you're going to need to know what lens is loaded into the camera, but that'll come later. Okay, let's start up Follow Me. Over here, we'll select New Document, and I'm going to select New Empty Document. There is a show builder, but I think we should do it the old way to get a better understanding of how all this works. So when it opens up, the video window will turn on by default. So you can see this is simulating our camera view into L8 there, but we're going to close this for now. We won't need that for a bit. On the Fixtures tab, you'll click the plus button to add as many new fixtures as you intend to use in Follow Me. For this, we're using 9. So I'll select all these fixtures. I'll go to Choose Fixture Type. This window will pop up. I'll go find the Martin folder. Then I'll go find Ultra Performances. All the way down here at the bottom. And they are going to be in 48 channel mode. While I have all the fixtures highlighted, I'll go to the Fixture Settings tab and I'll select Intensity from Desk. What this does is this allows me to control the intensity of the fixtures from the desk instead of Follow Me taking control of that. Next, I'll click Control Channels, and then I'll select Enable Fixture Control Channels. By selecting this, this will allow you to activate and deactivate Follow Me from the desk as you like. While I'm here, I also like to rename the fixtures in the Follow Me to something that will make sense to how the fixtures are labeled in the console. So now that I have these organized, I'll go through and I'll give them addressing info. The addresses of the lights in Follow Me must also match the addresses of the lights in the console. Here you'll see I've put an address for each fixture that we're going to use in Follow Me, and it matches the patch in the console. We also need to address the control channels, and for this, they all come up by default at number 1, and since I'm going to do them in order, I'll simply hit renumber, and they will address them consecutively. We still have to assign universes to the lights, but that'll come in a little bit. First, let's put all these lights in their 3D space. For this video, we have a 60-foot wide by 40-foot deep stage, pretty standard. I have set the downstage center as my 0, point, also referred to as the origin. These X values will run stage right to stage left. For the X values, anything stage right of the origin point will be a negative value. Anything stage left of the origin point will be a positive value. For the Y values, they will run upstage and downstage. For the Y coordinates, anything downstage of the origin point will be a negative value, and anything upstage of the origin point will be a positive value. The Z value will be the height of the fixtures and the height of the stage. With downstage center as my 0, point, I can get the 3D info for the lighting fixtures and also the calibration points. I should probably mention that all the measurements in Follow Me are in meters, but you can easily change the units in Vectorworks to meters and the unit's preferences. Here's the stage converted to meters. And here are all our fixtures and calibration points also converted to meters. In Follow Me, we will enter the X, Y, Z values for each of the ultra performances. Since the downstage performances are all the same height, I will select them together, and I will give them all the same Z value. Then I'll go one by one and enter in the X and Y value for each fixture. However, doing the MVR export has put the fixtures in the exact locations, but chances of that happening on site is not realistic. For this example, I'm just going to give the lights a rough X and Y values, and I'll run the fixture refinement tool later to get them in the exact 3D placement. I'll do the same for the mid-stage and upstage performances. Here you will see I have all the 3D coordinates roughed in for each one of the fixtures. Next, let's configure the universes. We'll jump over to connectivity, and this is where you would input all the universes that you'll be using. You click this plus to add a universe. So for this first one, I'm going to label it control. And it will take an input from the console of Streaming ACN Universe 100. I know that my downstage performances are on Universe 2. So for this, we will make a Universe 2. We're going to input Universe 2 from the console. And we'll also output Universe 2 right back out. I know my single mid-stage performance is on Universe 4. We'll do the same. Take 4 in. We'll send 4 right back out. And my upstage 2 performances are on Universe 6. These 2 universes I do not need, so I'll delete them. Now you'll see that these are green, whereas this one is red. Right now we are broadcasting Streaming ACN Universes 1 through 21 from the console, so the Follow Me does see this right now. However, I'll have to go to the console and add Universe 100 in the network settings. So the way Follow Me works is it is part of your streaming ACN network, but it is set at a priority of 110. When Follow Me is activated, it simply takes over the parameters it needs, usually pan and tilt and zoom, or iris for continuous beam sizing, and will ignore the rest. Let's jump back to MA3 real quick and add a line to our streaming ACN settings to send Universe 100 to Follow Me. I will enable this, sending Universe 100 to Follow Me. And while I'm here, I've also patched in our Follow Me profiles. And now when we go back over to Follow Me, you'll see that this Universe 100 is receiving streaming ACN. So this universe is the control universe, so it is only receiving streaming ACN because the console is just telling Follow Me to activate and deactivate which target to go to, stuff like that. So now that we have our universes configured, we can go back over to our fixtures. I know my downstage fixtures are all on Universe 2. So I select those, I go to addressing, I go to this drop-down menu, and I assign it to Universe 2. While I'm here, I'll also assign the control universe to the control universe. This is my performance on the mid-stage truss. I know that's Universe 4. We'll also give that the control universe. Then my two performances on the upstage, they're on Universe 6, and we will also give them the control universe as well. At this point, I like to run a quick test to verify the desk is talking to Follow Me. So I'll go over to MA3. I will select the Follow Me profiles, and then I will send them to target 1. And as you see, the check marks are in fact lighting up, meaning that those fixtures are being used in Follow Me. So we're all good there. Next, we will add targets. As I mentioned at the start of this, for each performer you will follow, you will need to add a target. For each target we add, we need to add one of these Follow Me controllers for an operator to move the target around the screen. For this video, we have a 4-piece band consisting of a singer, guitar player, bass player, and a drummer. We will use 3 targets for the performers that will be moving around the stage. For the drummer, we're just using the center performance. He won't be leaving the riser. So we'll go to the Targets tab. By default, Follow Me has 1 target whenever you boot it up. We're going to add 2 more. While we're here, we're going to give the target a Z height of 1.3, which is the equivalent of a 5'10" person. Over here on controllers, you'll see in this column here, it is populated with the controllers that I've plugged in. They're power over Ethernet, and they have their own IP address. On the center here, we're going to add 3 controllers. We'll take this one, and we're going to patch it to controller 1. Take the second one, patch it to controller 2. Take the third one, patch it to controller 3. And we'll tell it which target it's going to follow. Since each Follow Me controller has its own unique IP address, they will automatically go back to their assigned target at the next show. No need to do this again. Okay, so we have our fixtures patched and our 3D coordinates entered, and we also have our controllers connected to our targets. Now let's get the stage all set up. For this, we will go to the Calibration tab, and here you will see the default stage calibration points. The downstage center will still be our origin point, so we'll only have to adjust the Z value on that one. However, the rest of our points will have to get updated. So we'll start with the stage right points, and I know that those are a negative 30 feet from center, which is actually 9.144 meters. And the same thing for the stage left points, except they are a positive value. They are also 9.144 meters. So our downstage points are all on the 0 Y position because they're right there on the downstage edge. Our upstage 2 points, though, I'm going to put probably 24 feet upstage, which would be 7.31 meters. And for all of these, we will give a Z value of 1.219. Next, we'll go over to the Cameras tab. We'll use the Camera Position Wizard to let Follow Me figure out where the camera is hanging. When we click Start Wizard, this window comes up, and it'll give you all the instructions right up here. It'll ask you several questions. Yes, camera and lens are in good quality. The camera has a good overview of the stage area, and the lens is properly focused, secured tightly with the screw. So this is where I was talking about earlier. You need to know what lens you have in your camera, because you will select from this drop down here. But since we don't even have a lens in our camera because we don't have a camera, we're going to choose custom. So about that last question there, if you hang the Follow Me camera straight down, the camera is actually mounted upside down. So make sure that you tick the Camera is Upside Down tab. Okay, now that you have all this info in here, go ahead, Start Wizard. And these two windows will pop up. This is the one you're kind of focused on. You want to get this mesh as close as possible to your calibration points, which this is actually looking pretty good. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and hit Next. And now you can actually drag your points on top of your take marks there, and Follow Me will know exactly where your camera is hanging. Once you're happy with this, you'll click Calculate, and these little white crosses will appear, and that is where Follow Me thinks your points are. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to click Next because I can still finesse it a little bit more on the next screen. So Follow Me will give you a score, and you want it to be as low as possible, but this is a 6 is pretty good too. I'm going to reset these and see if I can't warp this a little bit more to finesse it better into place. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to hit Done. Okay, the stage is calibrated, the camera is placed, and we're good to go. Follow Me is now operational. Let's see how it looks. I'll go ahead and maximize this screen, and I'll send the fixtures to their targets, and it's not looking right. We do have control of them, but it's just not right. And that's because we have to run the fixture refinement tool to get the fixtures placed exactly in their 3D spaces. So to get the fixtures properly placed in their 3D space, we're going to run what's called the fixture refinement tool, which is right here. Before I run the fixture refinement tool, I'm going to assign a button on the controller to help me out. It'll do the fixture refinement record and next. So now I'm going to go over to the fixture refinement. I'm going to use all these fixtures, so they all need to be refined. And I'm going to use all 4 of our calibration points. And I'm going to use target 1 to move the lights into their place. Then I'll hit Start Wizard. And I'm going to need to bring the video window back. There it is right there. Let's dim the stage down a little bit. So what you'll see is these little yellow windows will pop up. It's going to pop up on this point, that point, that point, and that point. And you're going to take each fixture and you are going to put it in the center of that yellow box. And then when you're there, you can either come over here and click Record, Pan, and Tilt plus Next using the mouse, and it'll go to the next fixture, or once you get the next fixture all dialed in, this is what I assign to the button on the controller, the record, pan, and tilt plus Nick, so I don't have to take my hands off the controller. And you're going to do this for each light to each calibration point, and then Follow Me is going to do the math and figure out where your fixtures are hanging. So this is the last fixture I have to do for the fixture refinement tool. Whenever I click next, it's going to turn on all the fixtures and bring them together to the target. And at this point, you can have a look and see if they're all together, if there's some you need to redo. But this looks pretty good. So I'm going to click continue, and it's going to give me the score. And then we're done. Okay, so now that the fixture refinement tool has been ran, let's go back over to MA, and we'll select some lights here, bring them to full. We'll grab their corresponding Follow Me profiles. We'll send it to target 1. That's looking pretty good. Do the same for the singer. Send that to target 2. And last but not least, the bass player. He will be target 3. So as you can see, the lights are following the target as they move around the stage. However, you don't have to dedicate those lights just to those targets. You have the options to change the lights to whichever target you like. So for instance, if I want to send all these over to stage left, we just select the profiles and select target 3. And now they're all assigned to target 3. Or if you only want the front spots working for follow spots, the rear spots there will go back to doing regular moving light duty. I just went offline for a second and added 7 Viper DX wash lights so you can see that you can add any light in your rig that is part of your streaming ACN network. I set them up just like we did earlier in this video, ran the fixture refinement tool, got them in their 3D space properly, and in this queue I have them doing a nice little phaser chase around this guitar player. Now we're out of that and into a totally different look. Another thing to keep in mind while you're using Follow Me is that when Follow Me is activated, it is only taking over pan and tilt, and in this case, it's also taking over zoom because I have continuous beam size activated. All the other parameters of the fixture are available to you. You can see in this look, I have a rotating gobo in the rear spots. Still move it around as normal. And in this next look, I remove it. As you can see, there are plenty of options available to you. Okay, I know that might have been a little bit much, but it's really not bad at all. The initial setup is the most time-consuming part, but the day-to-day updates are minimal, usually about 10 to 15 minutes. First, you would run the camera refinement tool to make sure your calibration points are in their correct places. Then you would run the fixture refinement tool for the lights to update the 3D positions. Actually, I could show you a quick example of it. Okay, here you see I've lowered in the lights a bit. I've shifted them off center and nothing's lining up correctly. It's as if you loaded into another venue and your points aren't where they were the day before, can't get the trim height you wanted. So here's what we would do for our normal day-to-day updates. First thing I would do, I'll go over to the camera refinement. And I would drag these into their places. Now that that is done, I'll then go over to the fixture refinement tool. First off, why don't we take these out? So here you can see the added wash fixtures I put in, but we'll just do the spots for this drill. And we will still use all 4 of the calibration points. And I'm still using target 1 to move the lights around. And I will bring back the video window. So just like before, we're hitting all these little yellow squares. Now, as you see, they all come together. And they're all looking pretty good. So I'll click next, or I'll click continue, and it'll give me my scores, all good. So now, moment of truth. And we are all recalibrated. That's simple. That's your day-to-day updates. So one more thing I'd like to show you is we have this set here, but right now I don't have that put into Follow Me. So it's not going up on the stairs or anything like that. It's all just staying all on the same level here. But it can be added. And for the sake of time, I did this offline already. Here's all the added set that I put in there. There's a set in our 3D window. And now I'll bring the set into the video window there. So now, make this full size. So now, whenever you walk up this, the lights will adjust with it. Even whenever it goes down that step there, you see the lights bump a little bit. And if you walk over the drummer, now we're lighting up the drummer. Walk down stage. And even if they were to jump off, you'll see these lights jump as it steps off this riser. Just like so. And if for some reason he's able to jump up there. So maybe I'll make another video showing you how to do that, but it's very possible and it's not very difficult at all. And in fact, I can even go over here and show you, if you go over to your calibration window, you can click on this right here, display mesh over video. Now you see our mesh over the video there. There's a little ramp taking them up there, step down, step up, then back down the ramp. Pretty simple, just takes a couple of minutes to drop that in, and you would get all the info from a Vectorworks drawing, and you would just add it into your calibration points. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope you found this to be informative, and hopefully I gave you a better understanding of how Follow Me works. This video really just scratches the surface of what this powerful system can do. I'll probably work on a few more videos showing off some of the advanced things that Follow Me does. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Don't reply to this video because I won't see it, so definitely send me an email. And of course, if you're interested in using Follow Me on one of your productions, please reach out. We have several systems available in several different configurations. And usually I'll come out during pre-production, get things set up, train the crew so they can update it at the venue daily, and make sure everything's all good before you go down the road. Thanks, everyone.